The Littlest Christmas Star, written by Brandy Darty, illustrated by Sanya Reshik. One snowy afternoon, Max's teacher announced his class would put on a Christmas play. Everyone was excited, especially Max. Max couldn't wait to have a part. Even though he was the littlest student in his class, Max hoped he could be the star of the show. I will announce your roles tomorrow morning, the teacher said. The next morning, Max's teacher called out the role each student would play. Max waited and squirmed, and waited and squirmed. And finally, Max, the teacher said, you will be the star. Max's eyes grew wide. He smiled a big, big smile. He really was the star of the show. You will be the star of Bethlehem. Your line will be, follow me. Max sank down in his chair. I only have one line? He asked. Yes, Max, but it's a very important line, said his teacher. Everyone in the class was jumping around and buzzing with excitement. I have 10 lines, said Sophie. I get to paint the set, said Max's friend Henry. But Max didn't jump around. He was sad. He wanted to have a big part in the play, but instead he had the littlest one. The next week at school, the class prepared for the show. There were costumes to make, and lines to learn, and songs to practice. Max didn't know what to do. He had his one line memorized already. Maybe Max decided he could help out with the other parts too. Max began to practice the part of Mary. He worked on making his voice as big and loud as he could. Hey, that's my part, said Sophie. Max wandered to where the set was being painted. He dabbed a brush in purple paint and began to paint a tree. He wanted the trees to stand out on stage. I am the set painter, Henry told him. And trees aren't purple anyway. Max walked into the hall where the chorus was practicing their songs. He sang at the top of his lungs, even though he didn't know the words. Ava pointed at Max. You're not in the chorus. Max, you're supposed to be practicing your part, his teacher interrupted. But I know it already, Max replied. I bet a little more practice wouldn't hurt, she said. We need you to be the best Christmas star you can be. Finally, the night at the Christmas play arrived. Max's family sat smiling in the audience, ready to see his performance. Max was not smiling. No one will even notice me, he told his teacher. Of course they will, Max, his teacher said. You will see. Max waited for his turn. Then Everything was quiet. It was time. Max stepped forward. Music started in the background. He walked onto the stage. A bright light shone down right on him and no one else. Max saw that everyone was watching him. He stood extra tall on his tiptoes. He took a deep breath. "Follow me," he said in his biggest voice. The audience clapped and cheered. Max's teacher was right. He may have had a small part, but Max was a big star. The end. That was The Littlest Christmas Star. Merry Christmas, everyone.